Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Mania True Nerd, and welcome back to Hitman Absolution. We are here, having just done the Terminus Hotel, and we are in Run for Your Life. Let's just crack on with this, shall we? So this is a very interesting mission, as you'll notice that everything's exploding and people are yelling at me and everything's in slow motion, and so forth. So we're in a very odd situation here, which is we've made it up onto the roof, and this happens a few times in Hitman Absolution. There's just a bafflingly large amount of mist and fog. Even though it was like a clear night over by that balcony a second ago, there's this almost impenetrable fog right here, which I find really, really weird. Instinct, of course, means I can see through it, but the police basically are supposed to not be able to. So you can just hide here. So basically you just sneak your way across this roof, through this door, walk through this empty hallway, dramatic leap, and that there is the first part of the mission done. That was Rooftop. You're now into the second bit of the mission. It's a rather weirdly short bit. So here we are now in a much better bit, library. So the thing about this mission is all we're actually doing is trying to get up to those doors at the far end and escape. We're not assassinating anyone, we're literally just going from point A to point B. Now that's not new to the Hitman franchise. They had this sort of thing in Hitman 2, particularly in like the Japan levels in Hitman 2, where you had to like approach the castle before you could assassinate the guy who was in the big Shogun castle. But it's still a kind of a bit of an odd situation here. Ah, the lights have come on. Lovely. So, what we've got to do really is, what we're supposed to do is, you know, work our way round, take out a few people, hide the corpses, something, something, something. Yep, all pretty simple. I think you can kind of see where the person you kind of start with would be. It would be that guy over there, so let's see if we can get him. Now, obviously, we've got a wrench here, so we may as well get this guy. He's nice and out of the way. And just as quickly subdue him. Oh, I've killed him, apparently. I didn't even really mean to, but never mind. Let's just disguise. Did that in the wrong order, by the way. The sensible order in this game is to drag first and then deposit them later, because if you've dumped them into a box, you can actually use the disguise anyway. The disguise option comes up next to them, so that's fine. So now I've got this police thing, and I've got rid of that, and I can get a gun too. Don't really need one, but it is nice to have a gun just in case. So now there's all sorts of things, you know, I can do that are all very smart, but I can also basically just walk out of here, take the odd bit of cover just to make sure that no one gets particularly suspicious of me, use a little bit of instinct, walk straight past these guys. You can pretty much just walk out. The instinct system, this is why the instinct system I just think didn't work very well. Because pretty much the instinct system says you can just walk out of pretty much any scenario that, you know, you're worried about whatsoever. So just out of instinct. Just hide here for a second. Let those guys walk past. They go that way. And we then just basically walk out. And that's it. That's the library done. And technically, that's because obviously you don't really gain points for doing anything. You just lose points for doing bad things. 0 is pretty much the best score that you can actually get. So this is that's pretty much a perfect library run. Sure, you can knock a person unconscious, but by knocking a person unconscious, all you really do is lose points and then just regain a few of them. And then that's it. You're done. So that's another section that you can complete in basically a matter of seconds. You can basically do that in, I don't know, probably 30-45 seconds. And it's not like to do that in 30-45 seconds without anyone spotting me or any particular danger that I had to do anything particularly, you know, advanced. It's not like I had to use any abilities. All I needed to do was get a disguise off somebody and then just walk to the exit. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but oh, would you believe that there is in fact going to be a helicopter? Let's just run past it, shall we? Now this goes on for a bit, so I've decided to skip forward to something a little bit more interesting, which is the very final bit of Run for Your Life, the train station, which is arguably the level that kind of does something a bit more, at the very least it does something a little bit more interesting, and it's got a bit more going on to it. So I like this level as an idea. I don't think it's kind of perfectly executed, but it's interesting. So basically, yeah, having snuck through a whole bunch of other areas, you now have to basically now escape by going to a train station and getting a train out of there. No one really ever explains why you have to take a train out of there, but you just kind of do. So you've got a side area this way. Just hide here for a second. And let the police just take care of them. Lovely. Let's just quickly subdue him. No need to kill him. He's all on his own. That's fine. Minus 135, but dump him in the thing and we're back to where we should be. Obviously, the front way out basically just involves a massive, great dump of, just a huge dump of instincts. That's fine. So you've got this side exit kind of way here, which is kind of useful. Lots of SWAT team floating around. I will point out it actually is kind of odd that they do send things like, you know, in this area there's the SWAT, there's police helicopters and so forth. Like, okay, fine, but that seems a little bit OTT under the circumstances. I mean, isn't the crime that one person has killed a maid? I mean, they don't know that I'm the legendary super assassin Hitman 47. Fine that they take that somewhat seriously, but helicopters and a full SWAT team and locking down the entire public transport infrastructure? I mean, we're in Chicago. I checked the news before I played this part. It's a city where murders do occur on a not wholly irregular basis. But anyway, let's just wander out. Now that we're around the back here, we should be able to just walk straight out here. Obviously, I'm touching my hat, so no one's suspicious. Open up. And we can just walk straight around the back of all of these guys. And into the crowd. Now, the crowd mechanic is kind of fun. This was actually like, I know I kind of mocked the crowd mechanic in King of Chinatown a little bit, but the crowd mechanic in this game is actually sort of interesting. Well, they actually use it for something. So at this point, what you're trying to do basically is you're trying to use the crowd to hide in. So when the crowd is really dense, like here, even though there's a police officer right there, he can't see me because there's all these people in the way. Meanwhile, you can see over there the crowd is much less dense, so the crowd therefore can't hide me. So if I walk over to here, then that police officer starts to see me, but if I can just get into this crowd over here, he can't anymore. Now, this I really do quite like. I think it's actually a really cool little system. You just have to basically put the crowd between you and them. This is what didn't happen in Murder of Crows, by the way. In Murder of Crows, the crowd was just there, but the police could just magically see through them and will magically shoot through them as well. So this, to my mind, is actually a really fun little interesting mission. So we just let him go on his way, and then we can just walk straight on down the platform. Rather oddly in this mission, though, the police can hide by just looking at this machine. By just kind of looking at this this little kind of... is it a claw machine? Yeah, it's a claw machine. The police can apparently just hide just by looking at this. Obviously, you know, cleaners hide by cleaning. Electricians hide by doing electrical duties. I quite like in this game there's an ongoing joke that police hide by doing things like eating donuts and staring at a claw machine and basically doing nothing but standing around and not doing their jobs. Hey, I don't know that guy, but he's touching his hat, so he must be alright. Well, I've never seen that cop before in my life, but he is staring at a claw machine, so he's okay, isn't he? I mean, I love the tenseness in this mission, by the way, that you're just kind of moving through this crowd and there's police officers all around. At this point, the fact that I think sometimes a weakness in this game, that you don't know whether or not, like, who's going to be a police officer or who isn't, without the benefit of instinct. I think in this case, when you're walking down the platform, you just kind of see the flashlights. You're not quite sure who's about to potentially attack you or not, who's just like a civilian moving around and who's a police officer. That's actually quite good. That actually works really well in this area. I quite like it. So I just need to move over here. There we go. Back into a crowd, back into a crowd, back into a crowd. Get me into a crowd. There we go. Lovely. And then once you've got the trains moving again, you're all of a sudden on a bit of a time limit where the trains are actually arriving and by a certain agreed timescale, which I think is a lovely touch. So then you just need to find your way into a nice crowd. There we are. This one will do quite nicely. And then you just wait for the train to arrive. But you've got that tension because the police are all moving around. And then just walk on with your instinct. And we're good. Away we go. That's a really good level. That's actually one of the better levels in this entire game. I really like the fact that they actually used the crowd system for something. It wasn't just for decoration. It actually had like it had a purpose. So it's a really fun little mission, that. Now moving on to the next level, Hunter and Hunted.
The arms dealer is after Victoria. Blake Dexter's a ruthless son of a bitch for sure, but the guy you really need to worry about is his business partner, Dom Osmond, owner of the Vixen Club over on Bristol Street. And it's only a matter of time before he tracks down your girl at the orphanage.
How do you know about that?
Hey, Chicago knows, I know. Dom ain't all that different.
Send me his picture.
So here we are in Hunter and Hunted, a much better mission because all of a sudden we've actually got a few people to assassinate. So we actually get to assassinate someone. And there's another thing that I really like about this mission. This is actually probably Hitman Absolution in like between like mission 5 and 10. There's 20 missions. So like from this point of the game to about the midpoint of the game, it's probably where the game's actually pretty solid and actually quite enjoyable, which is why I kind of wanted to cover these particular missions. So let's just quickly get ourselves a police officer. Yeah, that's right. You go and investigate that bottle, which is definitely absolutely fine, and you should investigate it. Oi, go and investigate it. That's right. And subdue him. Lovely. What I also love about this mission is it's actually got a little bit of a subplot, and Hitman was always best when it was telling like little subplots without actually kind of, you know, going all the way to just explicitly throwing stuff in your face. And there's a lovely subplot here, which is if you just go down to this end of the courtyard, which is off the beaten track, you find this little shrine and all these candles, and you find all these missing posters. So for Angela Wagner, and oh, can we get the camera a little bit closer so I can actually see those? Simone von Horn, Carlise Ann, loads of people just appear to have gone missing. So there's this kind of this idea that like all of a sudden there's all these women who have just gone missing. And that comes up again throughout the mission. I'll kind of draw attention to it again. But this is Hitman storytelling at its finest. Where rather than just having two characters sitting around and like you overhearing their conversation, instead you just find things and piece together a story by yourself, which you can ignore if you want, but it's there if you happen to want it. There we go. Let's just quickly subdue you. Sure, you should not have wandered off. And into the club we go. So, assassinate. We now have to take out Dom Osmond. Was that lovely?
So everybody's stupid, huh? Nothing to you too, huh?
Hey, just a lot of surfing, buddy.
So we go up to the club, and obviously we've got a front door here.
Hey, they let a guy like you carry a gun? Oh, I'm just kidding, officer.
And everyone's happy for me to just walk on in. But in case that's not your style, keep going down and explore all the little side streets behind where you started, and you've got yourself an air vent. Multiple entrance points. Be still, my beating heart. It's like a Hitman game that knows what it's doing. And then just back up here, and we are back to where we are allowed to be, just the normal area. No one's suspicious of me because I'm dressed as a police officer, and everyone's fine with a police officer. And in we go to the strip club. I always get suspicious when games have strip clubs in them because it feels like, you know, they could have done this in any form of bar or crowded environment. They just wanted a strip club in for the sake of it, didn't they? So yes, there we are. There's our target over there, right behind the bar. It's his bar. Makes sense he'd be allowed behind it. Watch out, there are actually kind of the odd cops floating around, so they will recognise me. They'll be the only ones. So grab myself a distraction bottle. So obviously we've got the girls up on the stage who I'm not really going to pay much attention to because YouTube might take a little bit of offence to that sort of thing. Obviously there is a stripper behind me, but I just had to position Hitman here and just pretend everyone's cheering me on. Everyone is so thrilled for Hitman. Good for me. And the nice thing about this mission is, unlike the first mission, all of a sudden security starts making stuff a little bit more interesting. So, what we've got over here is the guy goes to the toilet, but when he goes to the toilet, he's got the guard in the entrance. So you can't just go and strangle him while he's in the bathroom, which is lovely. Head towards the back area meanwhile. You'll also notice in rather a fun little twist, there's lots of these key card readers dotted about, so you're going to need a key card before you're actually able to access all of the areas. Right, staff's facing that way, so let's go investigating the staff area. Pass through into the little area. Enter this cupboard. So we've got more chatter there that the girls are scared of something. Something's happening. Girls have been going missing. I love it. I love that there's this ongoing little subplot happening in all the levels. It's brilliant. Now, this guy is now going to slowly make his way over here. And when he does, there we go, pop out. Garrot him. And bring him over here. Dump him in the cupboard nice and fast. Lovely. And as I was saying before, you can have a disguise even after you put someone in a cupboard. The cupboard has to open temporarily, so you need to be a little bit careful of that. Because, yes, all of a sudden you do reveal the body again. But now we've got a key card. Lovely.
Be smart, be safe, and put a brave face on, or Dom will send you straight to Hawaii.
Why would that be bad?
Well, you seen the sign on the door upstairs? The one that's always locked? Believe me, it's bad.
Another mention of Hawaii. Just mysterious mention of this place, Hawaii. I think it's very, very interesting. The game keeps bringing that up, and we will get some. We'll get a bit closer to that soon. It's not like the game drags this on for like ages or anything. It is just there, which I think is quite good. So we've also got this here. I like this. This is just a nice little thing. You've got the disco ball that's clearly kind of just shattering a little bit, and you could use that. Oh no! It fell, and everybody mysteriously died. What a strange coincidence that is. That fell, and then everybody died. The keycard, however, is really, really cool because it opens up all these areas that you wouldn't normally have access to. So you've got this girl here, but unlock, and you've got this staircase upstairs. That lets you into this room with this unique gun that I'm pretty sure in this level you can't find anywhere else. It's also a silenced gun, so you've actually got a silenced weapon, which is incredibly useful if you do happen to feel like doing some point shooting. You got the evidence up here. You just got a little bit of extra stuff, which is kind of cool. So yeah, up here, silenced weapon, evidence, all sorts of good stuff, some extra points if you're chasing points. Again, if you go out of your way and you find the good disguises and you find the keycards, you go to the secret areas and you get the good stuff and you get rewarded with a good score. This is how a good Hitman game should be put together. This is genuinely a good level. But my favourite thing to do, of course, is now that we've got that keycard, we can go into this back room back here, accidentally climb into a box, totally meant to do that, and we'll find, of course, that you've got a two-way mirror here together with a camera because someone is recording incriminating footage. Now, obviously, we've got ourselves this here silenced gun, and now we just wait for Dom himself to decide that he just fancies having a little bit of attention from one of the girls he employs. While we're waiting, of course, this is also the safest way to put stripping and pole dancing on YouTube, which is, as long as it's small and outline and yellowy, I'm sure everyone's fine with it. Here we go. The club owner has selected a girl, and will indeed decide in a moment that he's going to join her in here for a private dance. I'm now trespassing, but nobody knows it. And now we simply go into here, and we can point shoot. And we just deal with you, and start the execution. And luckily, that there was a silenced gun. Obviously, we would have caused a bit of a problem had that not been a silenced gun. But as it was a silenced gun, there is no problem whatsoever. Now, we could, of course, at this point simply walk away, but I've decided to just restart in order to do, actually, you know, what is really, to my mind, the true easy silent assassin method for this level. We saw earlier that when, of course, this guy goes to the bathroom, he decides to take a security guard with him, but he doesn't have the security guard actually watching him while he goes to the bathroom. He prefers not to do that, so, first aid. Excellent. Top up your health here if you really want to. Excellent place for a last stand in the bathroom. So what we can do here is we can just, while nobody's here, we can just subdue this guy. Put him in here out of the way. Get ourselves a key card. Arguably an easier key card than the one we already had there. And now just join this lovely unconscious man here. Actually, you know what? We may as well get his thing as well, because if we take his disguise, then that will be worth a tiny bit of extra instinct just to top up the meter, and will also let us escape the level when it comes to it easier. So now we just wait in here, and wait for the Dom to come back. And here he comes now. Wait for him to just use the bathroom. There we go. And a quick garrote for him. Lovely. Done. Silent assassin bonus. He goes in there with his friends. So we have one of the security guards knocked unconscious. Oh! Oh, that's going to be... That's going to be an interesting scene for them to discover. They will have to explain that at some point. So, we've got him. And now we can just walk out. Obviously, we can basically just be holding down the instinct if there's any trouble whatsoever, because I've got now so much instinct I can just walk out of here. The way you actually leave is just out of the back way. But for this area, generally for the most part, as long as you just keep as long as you walk along at a fair little pace, no one should really mind. Got my instinct. Oh, don't get stuck on the steps, though. Goodness flipping sake. Okay. And walk straight past this guy too. If he sees me, well, I'm touching my head, so he can't possibly be suspicious. Upstairs, and we're done.
Just tell me what happens in Hawaii. I mean, it's just, you all say it's really bad. I mean, is it just like a private club? Like the back room?
Yeah, something like that.
Yet again, we've got Hawaii going on and everyone is scared of it. Check the answering machine. I'm sure that will be in no way important. Here we are, Hawaii. Another mention of Hawaii at the back of his office there.
Yeah, it's wait. I sent some boys to grab that guy you call Birdie. If he really is working with the Hitman, we need his wings clipped now. You call me back when you got a lock on that girl. Dexter smells a fortune. I intend to get my fair share. I'll see you soon, old boy.
Photo of Victoria. Looks like they're already on the way to get her. Obviously, we're supposed to rush and now save Victoria, but obviously I'm more interested with the more Hawaii signs floating around, that we've got to get a bit of closure on that particular subplot. So the thing here is quite interesting. All we've actually got is a whole bunch of cops standing in a circle, and obviously investigating a crime scene of some description. So what we've really got to do is just avoid those guys. So instead, we simply have to work around them, and that's fine. That's, it gets around the problem of if there's like multiple people. Ooh, sledgehammer. That seems like a good sort of a weapon. And here we finally get our answer to the question of Hawaii, which is we've got this here room with a camera, the Hawaii background, and this here chair with plenty of restraints on it, and what does appear to be blood stains on its footrest, and indeed around the personal area. And yes, I'm glad the game doesn't like drag this out too long, but you finally get the payoff. Why is everyone talking about Hawaii and why they're so scared of it and why the girl's going missing? It's because Dom was shooting snuff films in this here back room, and I just know it's really creepy and gross, and I love it. It's a really good Hitman subplot, so I'm really glad that this is here. And indeed, round the corner here, we find our next girl who went missing. A missing stripper. The officers are looking in all the wrong places. And by the way, I love the well, I don't love the touch, but it is a nice touch that she is blue she's got the flies because she's supposed to have been there for quite a long time. So yes indeed. So let's dump her over the top, and that should get the police's attention. Are you guys interested in the corpse? Guys? Are you thinking maybe that? Yes, the dead blue stripper surrounded by flies. That might be an interesting thing to investigate. So, drop down here and we can just go the way we're supposed to go. So now we're basically walking our way back towards Chinatown, which means we're kind of on another one of those missions where you're just trying to get to the exit, and there's loads of police wandering around. So instead, I'm going to skip ahead to a more interesting, good bit of the game. So let's cut back to Rosewood, where 47 has returned to try and find Victoria, obviously now fully aware that she has been located and things are not going well.
Has anyone been asking about her?
No.
They're here. I've got to move Victoria fast. Where's the safest place in the building?
The basement, the basement.
Get down there quickly. I'll meet you there with Victoria.
Yes, of course. Oh, heaven be praised. Oh.
Come.
So here we are, back here in Rosewood. Unfortunately, the place is under attack, and I can't really hold a gun because I'm kind of holding Victoria at the moment.
I know what you've been through. No one will harm you ever again.
And if people do try and harm you, I'll harm them first, fatally, because I've got a good moral compass all of a sudden.
I need to get the power back on.
So, as you can see, the problem that we've got here is bafflingly recovering fusers. We need to recover some fusers. And meanwhile, the nuns are dead. You can't disguise yourself as a nun, which is the greatest tragedy in this entire game. And arguably a bigger problem, I don't have a particularly good gun. So, I think we need to do something about all of that. Now, the nice thing about this mission is it's actually pretty open, so you can kind of go through it any order that you want. Just random gunplay is actually not a bad solution, so if you kind of want to do this all guns blazing, you really can. Which is nice. That's actually, it's kind of nice that is at least an option. But for the most part, you'll also be able to, like, sneak around. So, yeah, you can go in all guns blazing, you can sneak around like crazy, or you can just, if you really want to, you can basically just say, screw it, we'll just sneak to the end, we'll try not to get spotted at all. Which is, I think, kind of, it's nice that all three of those playstyles are actually, you know, allowed for. Now, let's see if we can lure that guy over there into here. Yep, pretty sure that got his attention. Lovely.
Okay.
And a quick garrote of him. Lovely. Now just dump him in the thing, get him out of the way. And yeah, you can just work your way around like this, which is quite cool. I quite like it. Now we've got 2 guards here, but as we're pretty much on our own on this floor at this point, we may as well just quickly take them both out, I would say. Yep, you're going to die. And so are you. Lovely. They were torturing that poor innocent security guard who may or may not be innocent, I'm not sure. But there's a guy around here somewhere. Oh, darn, he moved. I hope he wanted to pay attention to that axe. Yes, that was totally fine. Don't worry about that axe. That wasn't aiming at your head or anything, bastard. Right, clear. Let's have his card. I think I like his jacket and jeans a bit better. Is he actually wearing a mask? No, he's not. I probably should stick with the people who are actually wearing masks, shouldn't I? Oh, he's still got jeans. He's still got jeans, and he's got a mask of some description. That's it. Put the mask on, 47. You recognise your face. Now, can we work with you at all? No? How about you? Do you have a good mask? I'm not sure I like your jacket. Oh, you've got jeans on. He just doesn't want to put a mask on, does he? Can I let this guy go? No, I'm not sure I can. Oh, well, never mind. A charging ram. What's one of them? Oh, it's a gun with bullets. Oh, that's fine. I'm not sure I want one of them. I think I want the other one. The other one had more bullets. There we go, bullets. I guess let's just have a bit of a wander. And now he's got something round his neck. Right, I'm having the flipping fire axe back. I still want to use that for something. Well, I've never seen that guy who's part of our crew before, but he's reading Bible literature, so I guess he's legit. Well, it's all gone a bit wrong, but I'm not too worried. We've got point shooting to back us up. Well, apparently he didn't see where that bullet came from. Well, flipping done you. Fortunately, combat in this game isn't too hard. They kind of, people, rather than rushing you or acting intelligently, once stuff goes wrong, they'll generally just kind of quietly funnel through the doors. Plus, you do actually get regenerating health in this game, which is I'm not sure you start with it. I think you unlock it fairly early. And then the enemy just constantly put this suppressing fire in. Which, because the game is generally not really set up to be a suppressing fiery kind of game, the bullets hitting the wall and the blood mist and so forth don't actually really look that good. So, that's unfortunate. At this point, they've decided they can't really be bothered to storm me anymore. So I might just kind of quickly just go and get a better gun. There we are. Let's get a shotgun. This seems like a weapon. Yep, this seems to be working. Now, come on. Boo. Get back up. Get back up. Go on. Oh. Yeah. And you. I saw you back there. Come on. There you go. I think you were dead. Oh. Oh, you've got a shotgun too, though. That's bad. That's bad. Oh, yeah. Oh, you've both decided to run out at a really stupid time. Yep, they're just rushing the door with the guy with the shotgun now. One thing that's really important to remember at Hitman Absolution is, as a shooter, it's actually pretty good. It's actually a good shooter. Ironically, it's a much better shooter than it is Hitman game. If they just hadn't called it Hitman, I'd probably have really enjoyed it, which possibly means I'm being a bit unfair in the way I choose to evaluate the game, but never mind. I think there's still one guy somewhere. One flipping guy who's, who I'm just waiting to get hold of. Oh dear. Who hasn't even spotted me. All this, by the way, is a reminder, all of this kind of massive blood-soaked massacre was to get hold of some flipping fusers. That's all I wanted. You know what? I could have gone out to the store. I could have snuck out of a window, gone to a store, and bought 4 fusers. And then this massacre would not needed to have happened. But hey, whatever. Let's crack on.
I wanted the
Ah, yes, the character of Lenny.
You've been waving that little thing around all day, haven't you?
Shut up, Wade!
Oh!
We've got Wade here, who's almost kind of comically supervillain comic book evil. It's slightly ridiculously evil.
Okay, I'll show you.
And then we've got Lenny.
Shut up, bitch!
Oh!
Or I'll put a cap in your ass!
Look out, everybody. We better make room for Lip Dick Lenny. Come on.
You know what, Wade? Just... Oh, God! Oh, my God! Oh, I got blood on my hand, Wade!
Y'all see that? This is like pop like a watermelon.
Yes, we get it. Wade's the bad guy. Lenny, however, is... Oh, Lenny's a sad character, and I'm sad that Lenny's in this game. Because Lenny's clearly got mental problems. And... Oh, it's horrible what's done to him.
There you are, boy. I've been expecting you.
Here we are in the basement, in the central heating area, having got our way down to the basement, and this is where things get really, 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 really weird. So obviously we established there, Wade just took a pot shot at us. He's waiting for us. We've got a target over there. Now you might think obviously him being a target, there's going to be some sort of boss fight, but boss fights in this game are more than a little unusual. Let's turn this valve, shall we? There we are, got rid of a bit of steam, that's nice. We've got Wade, we've got a bodyguard, we've got another bodyguard, we've got another bodyguard. We are in fact very clearly walking into a trap. Now there's no way to avoid this trap. 47 just walks into the trap, so let's walk into the trap. Oh my goodness, it's a trap, it's Victoria, I bet this isn't a trap. Oh look, it was a trap all along. And then you've just got to nail everyone with this. And once you've nailed everyone, everyone just gets shot. You just go into free bullet time. So the game just gives you just some extra free bullet time there. And everybody's dead. That was it. That was the boss fight. He's talking pretty well for a man who was shot in the head, given I did shoot him in the head.
Hey, you, Baldy! Don't you fucking move! I'll put a fucking bullet in her head! That's what I'm saying! Wait!
So, the mentally disturbed person showed up and kidnapped Victoria, because apparently I wasn't watching Victoria. I was too busy paying attention to the person I'd already shot in the face.
Hope, South Dakota. You're a long way from home.
We're not going to follow Lenny. Hitman couldn't follow him at a safe distance. The man who is a silent assassin, who can creep around, who can do all that sort of thing. This man couldn't just follow Lenny at a distance without being spotted. Apparently not. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. With that, we've reached the end of the Chicago missions from Run for Your Life, Hunter and Hunted, and Rosewood. I think next week I'll probably just try and cover off all of the missions in Hope in South Dakota in a single go as well. And I will say, next week I think it's kind of worth paying attention to because Hope probably has some of the best missions in the game. So I'm looking forward to showing those off, and yeah, I mean, these missions are good. Some of these missions are actually pretty good. Run for Your Life is just a little bit unnecessary, to be honest, but I will say that the train station level is actually pretty darn solid. That's actually quite an enjoyable mission. Hunter and Hunted is a great mission. To be honest, I prefer it just for the fact that it gives you some targets to assassinate, and for the running subplot of Hawaii, where you actually just get to, you know, figure out what that story is if you want to, which I think is a lovely bit of storytelling. And Rosewood is the level that really kind of shows me that Absolution, if not of the perfect Hitman game, is actually quite a good, fun, interesting shooter. So, yeah, these missions are good. These missions are good, and it makes me think, not exactly, you know, overwhelmingly positive Absolution, but it's got redeeming things, and the stuff I like about it. And what that really makes me think is it makes me happier about, it makes me really happy about the new Hitman game, because one of the things that IO Interactive have said about the new Hitman games is they said they want to basically make a Hitman Blood Money game, but they want to kind of take some of the combat and, like, just movement mechanics and stuff from Absolution. And actually, having played all this and played through these missions, I kind of think, actually, that really is best of both worlds, isn't it? They've taken the one thing that actually worked well in Absolution, which is the movement, the combat, and the shooting and stuff, and they've put that into big, open, Hitman Blood Money, massive, complex levels. And that makes me think, Hitman that's coming in December, that could well be the perfect game. So, yeah, you know what? This has done exactly what I wanted it to. I've come to a more positive opinion of Hitman Absolution, and I think replaying the Hope missions next week, I think I will come to an even better one, because Hope, great missions there. But yes, that's for next week, ladies and gentlemen. And in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been a little bit more Hitman Absolution. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Good dodge, man. Question is, can you keep it up, cop? Oh, no, you can't. Ooh, nice. Oh, didn't quite get that one, though. We are going to the gun store in style. Oh, where's my partner? Oh, he's not here. Oh, so long, loser.